This is the moment that designers cherish. It's when we can bring our clients home and we can show them how all of the design elements that we've been working on have come together to create their dream home. This is the reveal. Hi, I'm Leia T of LTW Design. This is our South End design project, and I'm so excited to bring you inside. Welcome to the entry of our South End project. This home is all about natural light, clean lines, and texture. It didn't start that way though, and it's really funny because when we first came to the home, it was a traditional home with closed rooms, many small rooms, low ceilings, and barely any natural light. So to accomplish what our clients wanted, the first thing we did was blow out the ceiling. And now you can see it's a two-story entry, and there's an oversized picture window there, which allows for a ton of natural light to flood in. And to kind of be the centerpiece and the feature of this large window, we did this glass cascading chandelier that is simple, doesn't steal the show, but has organic shapes, which I really like because when you have a modern home, I think it's really important to have things that juxtapose the clean lines and hard surfaces. So we used a lot of texture and organic natural shapes. I love this piece of art because it kind of connects to the dining room. So we wanted two large pieces so that it speaks a little bit to the entry as well. And it has these natural organic shapes and movement throughout. It's a plaster custom piece that was made just for this project, and it stays in line with what we really wanted. We wanted to kind of have that contrast between the modern, clean lines, glass everywhere, but then curves and natural movement. It creates that warm feeling that our clients were looking for. When you do a glass staircase, it can be very cold, and I think having this oak railing on the top really softens it up and makes it feel a little bit more welcoming. And also it's really functional for little kids so they don't fall. And we did a square edge here instead of a round one, just to keep with that theme of clean lines throughout the home. Okay, we're in the living room, and it's really important in open floor plans that everything is cohesive. So when I design a first floor that has rooms that connect in the way that it does in this project, I like to create a color palette and then carry it throughout the entire first floor so that everything feels connected and it's not closed off. In this room, it was really important to do durable fabrics. So we used a performance fabric here. So this sofa is where they gather, the kids sit. It's really connected to the kitchen, so it gets a lot of traffic. And I think it's important that people know that you can have the house that you dream of with the lighter colors. You just have to use performance fabrics. You'll see here we did a chunkier pillow and a little cashmere throw here. So just in this little area, we have 3 different textures, and then that sits on a nice knobby wool rug. And then this chair, who wouldn't love this chair? This chair is so much fun. It even comes with a brush to brush the hair. We couldn't resist having this little one fun element. You can see it off the entry, and it's functional and conversational for this area. So the kitchen connects to the living room since this is really one big open floor plan, and we knew we didn't want to do a white kitchen. White kitchens are beautiful, but this home, we wanted it to really feel warm. And so to accomplish that, since this kitchen is open to every other room and can be seen from almost every other room on this first floor, it had to connect. So instead of white, we did white oak bases. So you'll see that here with a very clean inset. We did concrete countertops, double islands that are 12 feet long, so it's an entertainer's dream. To see the progress is so rewarding as a designer because when I first came in this kitchen, it stopped right about here and the ceiling was low and there were barely any windows. And so we pushed the wall out and over this way and decided on no upper cabinets. I'm a huge fan of no upper cabinets in kitchens that are in open floor plans. And we just did windows from counter to ceiling just to let all that natural light flood in. And to add to the clean, modern lines, we did very oversized, large, chunky pulls. And to match that, we did warm brass fixtures on the sink. There's something that's really exciting. Nobody knows what's behind these doors. So we hid everything. So this is a refrigerator. This is a freezer. This is wine. And this is my favorite because this is a nice hidden pantry. So everything that you maybe don't want on your countertops can live behind closed doors in this room. I love that for entertaining. Another thing I think was really important for this kitchen was using performance fabric on the counter stools, because this is where everybody eats, where everyone gathers, and where most of the spills tend to happen. This is the dining room, and this room was so dark. This was the back of the home, and it was completely closed off with 2 small windows. So what we did was we made a huge opening here, huge opening there, knocked a wall out here, and knocked the entire back of the house out, which I'll get to that later. Right now, we're focusing on the dining room, and I love whenever I have the opportunity to use a round dining table. And since this space is perfectly square, this was the perfect time to use something that was round. And we did something that was oversized and really chunky. And again, to contrast with this smooth surface, I chose a really textured and porous concrete bowl that really sits on a smooth concrete. I love this light. It feels like a piece of art because it's sculptural, and I like that it doesn't steal the show because there's so much going on this first floor with it all being open. I wanted something that could hold its own space but wasn't too bold or too distracting. So I like that it's airy, you can see through it, and it has that natural, organic shape to it. Okay. I'm gonna bring you to my favorite part of this entire house, which is really funny because it's not even really a room, it's more of a hallway. And this space runs along the entire back of the house. And in order to create an open floor plan in a traditional home that has a lot of small rooms, it was really important to knock the back wall of the house off and bring it out just about 12 feet to create this gallery hall that then connects all the rooms together. And structural beams had to stay in place. So what we did was we padded them out and we made them a decor item. So we made these really thick. They're around 12 by 12. And we wrapped them with white oak and then just layered it up and continued beams throughout the ceiling, and then created natural light flooding into the entire first floor of this house just by adding floor to ceiling glass and sliding doors so you can easily access the outside. Okay, just off the gallery hall is this super cozy family room with an oversized, enormous sectional We wanted to have a space where our clients can just lay down, relax, watch TV with their kids, their friends, and not really worry about getting anything dirty. So I thought it was important to continue with the performance fabrics. So this custom sofa is wrapped in performance fabric. It's pretty much indestructible. And this rug is a really, really knobby, chunky wool rug. In order to keep with the oversized sofa theme, we had to really come up with a coffee table that was large enough in scale to fit the space. Our woodworkers made this one, so it's completely custom. And it's a white oak, but it was whitewashed so that it's a little bit lighter so it doesn't match the floors exactly. So this is a huge coffee table and we styled it with pieces that are curved and in the same color palette as the rest of the home, but also added this live element of grass, which lives in this bowl. It's very low maintenance, so you can just kind of plop it in and it stays there. We love that because anything that is maintenance free is good for busy, busy people. Another detail I love is the fringe on this linen pillow. So while this is a chunky linen, this is a super soft, cozy linen. It almost feels like silk. It's so smooth, but to keep it, casual and welcoming, it has this fringe on the edge. We never want any of our homes to feel stiff or too formal. We want everything to always feel approachable, cozy, and relaxing, no matter how modern or minimal it is. So to contrast that, we did a really smooth limestone fireplace here. And what I love about this fireplace is it's clean lined, but it has this angle that goes in. So it just has nice scale, it's bold, but it's not in your face or too loud. It's very subtle, and the limestone was the perfect soft tone to match with the rest of the colors in the room. And of course, everybody needs a frame TV because it just looks like a piece of art. We work so hard to put together the presentation for our clients before we show them everything. We're doing all the designing, and our clients are really tied to Italy, and I thought this picture was just so beautiful. It felt really free. If you can look closely, there's a woman just diving off into the water and a sailboat on the left. And our clients are so fun and so great, and I just saw that and thought, I really see this living in the space. So when I presented it to them, it was so funny that this is one of their favorite places. They have spent so much time there. I didn't realize that, and it had a lot of meaning to them as well. So it was a win, and we got it and put it up, and I think it really keeps the space feeling light, airy, and calm. Before we go into this room, I want to show you these pocket doors. And I want to tell you the reason they're here. So this was a sunroom, and our clients really wanted a space that they can use for themselves. An adult-only space that they can kind of have friends over, just have a glass of wine at the end of the day, no kids. And it provides just the right amount of privacy that you need. Welcome to the solarium. That's what we were calling this when it looked like what it did in its original state. But what we've turned it into is a lounge. And it was really important that it was black. I really wanted black walls, a black ceiling, because it then allowed all of the nature outside to serve as artwork. Because with a room wrapped in glass, and in the Northeast here with changing seasons, it's constantly evolving. In this space, I really wanted it to feel sexy and chic and calm. So we did 4 chairs in a circle and a nice round table, and I kept the color palette in here a little moodier and a little bit darker than the rest of the home, but I still wanted it to be consistent with the rest of the home. So the black over there carries through here. There's just more of it. So this wall could not be moved. We did not know what to do with it. And this black marble with all the veining was where we landed. And to wrap each side, it follows around, and then there's hanging shelves that are really suspended from the ceiling with these metal chunky brackets. It's really functional in here. Everything is hidden in here. This is where the alcohol lives, the refrigerators, and we continued the brass theme, the warm brass fixtures from the kitchen here, so that, again, it was consistent with the rest of the house. And when I style rooms like this, where they're a little more moody, I really like to use pieces that speak to that. So the accessories we chose for here are pretty dark and textured. I really think scale is important, and so in this room, we chose oversized planters that have a lot of texture, and then really big olive trees in each corner, just to provide an area to ground your eyes when you walk in the room. Our whole philosophy at LTW Design is less is more. So I really believe that you don't need a lot of stuff. I think a lot of stuff in a home can be stressful. So we and our clients really like homes that are a little bit more minimal, because we feel like your home should be just the calming backdrop that you come home to. So you walk in and you just take a deep breath and everything feels really calm. And then the busyness in your life is what fills the space. So let's take a look upstairs. Okay, welcome to the primary suite. I really wanted this to be a relaxing, ethereal, monochromatic space that felt really quiet and spa-like. So I wrapped the walls with drapes, and the drapes are really chunky linen. And one of my favorite features here is my clients wanted a TV in the room, but we really didn't want to walk in and look at a TV. So this slides over to make the frame TV available for viewing at night, and then when they're not watching it, they can just cover it up and it just looks like a wall of windows that wraps the room. That's one of my favorite features, because sometimes a TV in the bedroom is not always the best thing to look at. So the drapes really concealed that and helped to keep that soft feeling. There are so many textures in this room that I love. We have a cashmere throw here at the end of the bed, and cashmere is so soft and so livable and gets better over time. So this hangs out at the end of the bed, and then we really layered their bed. So sheets, cashmere, and then a nice coverlet here with little pin tucks and chunky, nice size throw pillows. And we're talking about scale again. The lights on the side tables, I went really big, but I think that it's important because the ceilings are high and we wanted something to feel like it grounded the room. The walls, if you take a close look, are also Roman clay, and it's a little shade darker than what's downstairs. And I like it because it just feels really soft and really relaxing. These chairs are so functional because you can sit here and they swivel. So you can swivel this way, see the water, or you can swivel this way and look out the front yard. This balcony is so beautiful, and it's right off the primary bedroom. So it's such a treat because you really feel connected to the outside. And if you look through the trees in the corner there, you can see the water. And in the summer, all the leaves are in bloom and it's just a screen of greenery. I love that down here you can peek over and see the fire pit below and whoever's hanging out down there. It really has a sense of that indoor-outdoor living. The view of the house right here also I really like because it shows a mix of a lot of different materials. There's the stucco chimney stack, the metal windows, and then the cedar roof. So it's just a nice blend of all the textures in one view. Oh, and how great is this light? I love this light because it feels really airy and you can see through it, and there's straight lines and again curves with a little bit of texture. Welcome to the primary bath. This is one of my favorite bathrooms. It feels very welcoming, but feels also sophisticated and chic. So to accomplish that, it was a combination of marble and white oak with this warm brass. These sconces are so beautiful, and I love them because the alabaster stone is a little bit transparent, so it allows for the light behind it to kind of glow through the stone. And each piece has its own movement, so it feels very natural, feels very organic, but again, it's modern and it's clean lined, and it's wrapped with this warm brass framing. We kept it really minimal with the mirrors. We did frameless and warm brass fixtures everywhere. So if you look over here, the wall mount piece that comes right into the tub is very minimal and very clean, but matches with everything else in the room. And have you ever seen a concrete bathtub? So this is gorgeous, and this, again, brings that concrete element that is woven throughout almost every single room of the house into the primary bath. And I really wanted a little moment of glam or wow, but without something too shiny or glitzy, something that felt organic and understated. So we did this really cool chandelier here. It's a matte finish, and I think that's really important because it just kind of holds its space, does what it needs to do, but doesn't steal the show because there's so many things going on here. There's marble, floor to ceiling everywhere. There are floor to ceiling glass windows and doors, and even a window in the shower. There is a bush here for a little bit of privacy, but the entire property is theirs, so there's not an issue with privacy. But how nice is it to be able to take a shower and see the sky and see the trees and feel like you're really outdoors. Right off the primary bath is the primary closet. I love this closet because it's consistent with the materials in the bathroom. It has this gorgeous island with the marble countertop and then white oak material everywhere. Everything is custom, and I love how it's divided into his and hers. In this primary closet, I really wanted to put a fun fixture. And this one is really cool because it feels a little bit whimsical, a little bit natural and organic in the way that each piece is not really laid in a pattern, they just fall where they fall. And I don't know, it just feels really fun, a little moment when you get dressed in the morning. Okay, we are now right off the primary closet in our client's home office. I love that we created a space where he can focus, be away from everybody, shut the doors, and do work. And to warm up this really dark space, it was important the walls were black, but to warm it up, we chose accents like this travertine box and warm truffle leather. I love this leather. It's got a little bit of a brown tone, but does go with the rest of the tones in the room, like this very, very soft smoke color leather desk chair that can swivel from the computer screens to this desk here. So the freestanding desk is great if he ever has to have clients or someone come over, and they can sit on that side. They can pop back and forth. And you'll see again, there's little moments of scenery in Italy woven throughout the home because Italy is very important to our clients. thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as we loved designing it. It was such a beautiful collaborative process. See you at the next one.